Ayo, what's up, my people? Tricky here, and today I'm about to contemplate some thoughts and talk about some questions that I have in my mind. And I was contemplating and thinking about this question of what is true and what is fake in the hip hop culture. What are the true b-boys and what are the fake b-boys? And what are the true hip hop heads and what are the fake hip hop heads? And this is something that I see a lot in our culture. B-boys from different generations claim they are true, or one b-boys are more true than the others, and there is debates on this topic. And there are some characters that people view as very true, and others they view as very fake. All this concept of biting, and basically it's something that is present in our culture, and I didn't see too many people talk about it, which is actually very interesting to me. So I will give you my opinion after a little bit of thinking about it. So basically, the beginning from which we start this inquiry of what is true and what is fake and false in the culture is the foundation of our culture. And the main foundation, from what I see, are peace, love, unity, and having fun. That's basically what we are supposed to do as hip hop heads, right? And when I thought about it, I realized that actually hip hop is a method through which we get to these higher places of peace, love, unity, and having fun. It's not something that is present and is already there in people and then they do it. From how I see it, most people, not even hip hop heads, are very selfish and they need some kind of way through which they will get to this higher, more spiritual, you might say, places. So when hip hop culture was at the beginning, and these were the pillars of our culture, I think the meaning was that we strive to get to these places. And that's a very important pointer, because when I or someone else we divide people to true hip hop heads and fake hip hop heads, we are already violating the unity pillar of the hip hop culture. So even by this division between people and b-boys or hip hop heads, we are already paradoxically become fake, because we are not aligned to the hip hop culture foundations. So that's one thing. So basically, my claim is that in the absolute sense, if we use this peace, love, unity, and having fun as our foundation for this topic, there is no such thing as true and fake. That's my claim. And also, the next thing I would say is people are changing all the time. Me, who I am today, is not the same person who I was yesterday. And also, what I think is that every person has multiple, you might say, personalities inside himself, part of which are more true and aligned to the highest values of our culture, and some are not. And each one of us has egotistical parts in himself. And I think that in many cases, when we position ourselves as true and others as fake, we actually are influenced by these lower sides of ourselves, those egotistical sides, and we project this fakeness on others. And by this, we hide that we can also sometimes be very, very fake. A good example might be calling each other biters. But if you really think about it, think about yourself. How much of your arsenal is really yours? and how much is influenced by generations before, by different type of dances. But it's very comfortable for you to say to yourself that you are not a biter because you changed it a little bit and call others biters. And how true you are to yourself? I guess that's the first question. In order to really go closer to being, in quotes, a good and true b-boy or hip-hop head, you first need to realize uh, how fake you are. And I believe that 99% of us are really not that true in many ways. Another example would be if you go to a party, for example, and you use your stylishness, your coolness, and maybe even your moves to attract females. Isn't it you using your culture for your own selfish benefits? I guess that's a good question. And basically, again, what I think is that we are all both true and fake inside ourselves, and the process of finding these parts of you which are more true and which are more fake, which are more unifying and loving and helping others, versus those parts of you which divide and basically simulate a reality where your crew is the best crew, or your style is the best style, or your country is the best country, uh, is actually parts of you which I would consider to be fake because they violate this unity principle and love principle. And basically everything we strive for as a community. So again, I will say it again. For me, hip hop is a technology, a process through which we as humans can get to higher places. Uh, and instead of being and positioning yourself as true, and by that limiting your ability to go to a higher place because you already think you are true and the real thing, so why should you even change, right? Instead, realize this process and what part you take in it. After saying that, um, there is a little strange spot here. Okay, after saying that, I will still talk about relative differences between the true and the fake. Okay, so yes, absolutely, there is no difference between true and fake. We are all part of one community, of one thing that is striving to get to higher values. But the hip hop method, the hip hop culture, does have some kind of spirit to it, some kind of feel to it, some kind of energy to it. And in this case, I would say there is a difference between someone who is aligned with the principles and the feelings and the vibe and the lifestyle and being the freshest and basically living this hip hop lifestyle, and others who are doing something else which is very far from the hip hop way and call themselves b-boys. So yes, relatively speaking, there are differences, but I would not call it true and fake. I would find a different way um, to call this kind of differences, because when we say true or fake, we use very abstract concepts that are limiting us. But if, for example, the one that you call true, who is the one who is, for example, moving according to how b-boys used to move, listening to funk, or if it's a DJ, he is using original vinyls, uh, or the style of movement, or the foundation of the b-boy culture, for example, the b-boy movement, and being able to do something for the community. Basically, people who use the hip hop way properly, I would call them closer to the original hip hop method, and those who, for example, go and do some flips on some techno songs in some whack rapper video, I would call them partially using hip hop elements, but not really using properly the hip hop method. And yes, it sounds a little bit complicated, but that would be a little more accurate, don't you think? So to sum it up, I will say those of you who are new to the culture, go and learn both the method and the values of this culture. And those of you who are old school and who are living this method for many years, I would say stop dividing and thinking that you are the best, and become really more unifying and loving by teaching others without the energy of anger, hate, and making other feel stupid. And like that, we can be a little more closer to where we're supposed to go. So that's my take. What do you think, guys? I would happy to see your comments. Objections, again, it's only my opinion. I'm not a real old school hip hop head. I'm only doing this from 2005, and I don't claim to have all the knowledge. I just share my thoughts and how I see that, just to be clear. So let's go. Let me know what you think.